Samantha from Soul Pathways. And happy, what is this? Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. It's February 18th, 2026. And we are officially through the solar eclipse, and on the other side of the solar eclipse now. I did do a solar eclipse reading last night, and I have downloaded that to my YouTube channel at Soul Pathways. If you want to go check that out, I did do a mini reading if you're interested. So feel free. A tarot reading for every astrological sign. Yeah. So feel free to check that out. Anyways, how are you? That's a good day. It's a good day to have a good day. I'm just letting my inner child out to play. I'm working on a project, you know. Putting together another deck of cards that I'm working on. I have multiples of these. I mean, lots of different little decks of cards. I just love putting things together and building things, tearing things apart, putting them together. It's just something I'm really good at doing. I find that in life, you know, we're all capable. We've got something to give, you know. We're born with something unique to just us. Each one of us has something that we were innately given, you know. So for me, I am really, really, really good at taking other people's trash or what people think is ugly or icky, and I am capable of repurposing it and making it beautiful. That's one of them. I can go to any boutique, Salvation Army, and buy a bunch of stuff for next to nothing and repurpose it all and upsell it. I'm really good at that kind of thing. Or I can go to the dollar store and buy a bunch of stuff there and make a bunch of things for, I don't know, centerpieces for weddings or bridal shows or graduations. It doesn't matter. Jewelry, you know, just whatever. Go down the creative aisle and pick something. I can make cards, you know, whatever. I'm good at taking things and putting them together and innovating something out of nothing. It's just one of the things I was good at. Some of you are born with really good talents in terms of playing sports, playing musical instruments. Some of you are really great at dancing, singing, swimming, debating, writing, you know. Others, you know, your gifts are many. The thing is sometimes we're not born knowing, you know. And sometimes you got a person whose gifts aren't necessarily relatively easy money makers, right? For instance, let's say you're born at a time when you're born, well, I'll just use me. Let's be straight with this if we're going to use that as an example. I was born a psychic medium, and I've always been into metaphysical everything, from numerology to tarot to palmistry to astrology. My first love, astrology, and tarot right after. And when I was born, that kind of thing wasn't really, even psychic gifts like that, not extremely accepted by societal standards, not conventional. Born and raised in a Baptist household where I was forced to go to church. I'm Native American too, so I'm all sorts of different. Go figure. I have to say, the gifts that were the strongest in me, such as being born the psychic medium, the channel. I've been seeing dead folks since I was a little. I had to repress. They called it intuition or me being too sensitive or whatever, Nevertheless, the point of me saying any of this is we're all born with something special to give. We all are. And since this channel is all about healing, sometimes the things that we're supposed to give back, we can't, because we have a bunch of stuff we have to heal first before we can give it back. And for me personally, my path was all about getting the trauma so I could heal it, so I could give it to you. That is my purpose. So even though I sit here and I might have creative projects, I might love singing and dancing and reading tarot and all of this lovely, lighthearted stuff, at the end of the day, what I really like to do is help other people. My conventional education is, I have a master's in counseling where I specialize in alternative medicine and therapies. I focused a lot on the mind-body connection. I love the idea of healing ourselves. I love alternative medicines and not necessarily natural, like herbal, but I didn't focus in that area. You'd think as a shaman that's where I'd go, but more energy. I was all about the energy, like energy healing, frequencies, vibrations, how in the heck do our thoughts, how do those play any role at all with our body and our emotions? How does that factor in? And I was very, very, very curious about all of this, and it really fascinated me my entire young adult to mid, I'm 50 this year, so, I started it in my late teens into my 20s, and I just kept feeding it. So it became a massive passion, and that's where I became a certified law of attraction life coach. But moreover, when I went into my master's, I did study the mind-body connection, So that became part of my formal education as well. And I studied optimism. And so how does, you know, the power of your optimism, your positivity, how does that affect your healing process? Okay, how does that affect your mentality? You know, because as a counselor, I was very curious to know. I'm not your typical counselor. In fact, I do not currently have a licensing as that, because that wasn't what I was aiming to do. I genuinely want to do counseling very, very differently, alternatively, matter of fact, because I do believe we can heal ourselves. I believe that all mental issues can be healed. From PTSD down. In fact, there's tons of, well, I wouldn't say tons. There's articles on how Native Americans treated mental illness. As a Native American, I read these articles, how they treated and did not see mental illness as mental illness, but rather it was a sign of psychic abilities. Connection to God, Creator, Source, Universe, which I happen to have. And I'm very sane. I know what day it is. I know what the president is. I know my name. The sheer fact that I see dead people, I can help heal people, and I have deliberately given messages to people to help them bring them closure when somebody in their family has gone maybe too soon for their liking. You know, it's never too soon according to God or to your higher power, whatever that is for you. But, you know, in terms of counseling, you know, I didn't get into counseling. I tried to, because for the longest time I had no idea what the heck I was doing. Waking up to my journey is one heck of a story. And trust me, I'm still on that journey, but I am more on it now and realizing where I'm going than ever before. Thank God. I now know why I got the writing certification and the coaching and the counseling backing and all the formal education, as well as all the trauma and all the healing and all of the hours and hours and hours and years and decades of knowledge I crammed into my head. It was all to help you. You see, I'm an earth angel and I'm a chosen of the 144. And I'm here with a healed heart as a wounded warrior who's healed, but still going through things. I mean, it is life. We're on Earth School, so I mean, I'm kind of simultaneously doing this, that, and the other. And my mission, my sole purpose is to help you rise to your higher self or highest self by helping you maybe heal some of the trauma that you're going through. Because I'm pretty sure we've probably been through similar or same traumas. I've been through a gamut of trauma in 50 years. I don't look like it. And that's all God's doing. He's God to me. Actually, he's Dad. But my creator, my higher power, he makes me look like I've been through absolutely nothing. And it's almost a curse. Truly, it's almost a curse, because people look at me like, she's a delicate little flower who's done nothing, been nowhere, and knows absolutely nothing. And it's quite the opposite. As I talk, I sit in a hotel room. I've lived here 4 years in a hotel. I'm ready to get out. So, and that's one of my journeys. And it's an aim to get out in 2026. So, with that being said, I've spoken on it before. These are my personal journeys. This is my personal journey, my personal message, my life story. And though I am a professional, and these are my professional, subjective opinions, please take them with a grain of salt. Okay? I'm going to say it's for entertainment purposes. Okay? Just because. But it is my journey, and it is one I've walked alone with Divine, my God, my Father, for 50 years. And the pruning has been very difficult, to say the very least. I guess I could say, has anybody ever felt rejected in life? Raise your hand if you've felt rejected in any way, shape, or form, at any stage. I have. From childhood to prepubescent to teenage to, to 20-ish, to 30-ish, to 40-ish, to now. Within my family group, within friendship groups, and within general society. I have had rejection on all fronts. Within work groups. Rejection's a hard one. If you've been rejected, then you know the pain's hard. Rejection, I feel, I mean, I just heard rejection is God's blessing. I would have to say the same for abandonment. And I know that's hard to hear. It's like, well, how the heck is that? Well, when somebody rejects you or abandons you, it's simply God plucking people out of your life that don't need to be there. And yeah, it hurts. It hurts. I know it hurts. Trust me. I can't tell you the million times I had to pick up pieces of my broken heart off the ground and put it back together. Alone. From people that were supposed to love me. You know, a parent, a husband or a wife, a sibling, a best friend, or how about this, a supposed soulmate or a twin flame, albeit a a romantic or platonic friend. It doesn't matter. it's still painful when somebody hurts you. And then leaves you to do the work on your own. But you're never really alone. Because for every tear you cry, your higher power is right there. And I know that doesn't sound very soothing, trust me. I can't tell you how many times I sat in a hotel bathroom in the dark on the floor, crumpled up, crying by myself. Yes, many. But you get through it by breathing. I can't tell you, and I cannot begin to tell you how powerful you are. The power of your thoughts alone can make you or break you. Becoming aware, especially when you're emotional, of the things you're thinking is key. I just heard is key. Especially when you're feeling rejected. Now, what if you're in situations where you're not capable? Trust me, God's at hand then. I'll give you a great example of this. The first time I was ever rejected that I'm aware of, because there's an ongoing story for me that I'll tune you into in a moment, was my birth. The one I'm aware of was when, and that I was told happened, was when I was born. My mother would not hold me, which is rejection. But I was also abandoned because my father wasn't even present. So my father abandoned me and my mother rejected me. So I sat crying, isolated in the crib. Nobody loved on me when I was born at all. During those times, God, your higher power, handles that for you. Trust me. My journey started off with immediate trauma. Like I said, I'm a chosen one. I have been chosen since the very moment of inception, because I have a soul contract with my higher power to do the things I'm doing right now. And it's been hard, but in the same, it is my greatest honor to do this. For my father, who saves my life practically every day, and for all of you. If I can save just one person from any of the pain that I've been through, from even one of the traumas that I've endured, then I've accomplished something, even if it's minuscule in measure. If I can get you to understand your own value or see your own worth, or even take one step in the right direction, then I've done something. Because this journey, like I said, nobody helped me. Not one person on planet Earth helped me. I had to do all of this by myself over the last 50 years. And it's been hard and lonely and extremely devastatingly painful. And if I can keep that kind of pain out of even just one young person, old person, doesn't even matter, out of one person's life, then I do it. I actually have a group of people right now that are trying to stop these videos from going out. And I have another group, probably within the same group, mimicking me, actually making money off of me. The problem is they haven't done any of the work. They don't know what it's like to be me. They're just jealous of me, but yet they've suffered none of the trauma. They don't know what I've been through. They think I've been through nothing. They've taken complete and utter advantage of me. If I can keep it 100%, I'm putting these videos out because I don't really care what any of these people think, say, or do. I believe that my Father will rectify all of these situations on my behalf. I have that much faith. It's absolutely more than a mustard seed. When you live a life like I've lived, you have to have more than a mustard seed of faith, or you're not going to go far. And I'm going somewhere. I'll be dang if I didn't get to 50 to just give up 5 seconds before the miracle. So, with all that being said, I want you to know you're dang special. And you're loved. I love you. It's a shame in a society that needs love so much that it's never said. It's acted like it's disease, like it's a disease, like emotions are diseases. Or like if somebody shows too much emotion, that there's something wrong with them or that they want something. How about somebody's authentic enough and secure enough within themselves that they're okay showing it just because? Point blank, period. Living in a society like this is in part why healing can be difficult, but don't let it stop you. Healing yourself is a commitment that takes a commitment. Almost like marrying yourself. For real. I have been committed to myself for decades. I meditate daily. Daily. I sage, I meditate. I'm in constant prayer mode, talking to my higher power. I'm constantly cleansing myself. I'm constantly working on my thought patterns. And if that feels exhausting, then hone back a little and don't think of the whole picture. What do you mean, you say? Just look at the first step. Don't look at all of that. Look at one thing. What's one thing you can do? One change. That's it. Meditate or prayer. Just rein it in some if it becomes too overwhelming. As a counselor, I understand, and as a person, I understand, and as a victim, I understand. Because I am somebody who has walked in many of these traumas myself. And yet I've still managed to do the shadow work. I've still managed to sit with that, to sit with the anger, to cry through the bitterness, or to scream through it, to get mad with God and then have to redeem. I'm only human. I make mistakes. I still make mistakes. What's great about mistakes is learning that mistakes don't make you look bad. They actually make you look brilliant. Why? They build you up. Every mistake you make is a lesson towards actually succeeding. Mistakes show that you're trying. I'm a trier. I don't quit. I keep trying. Until I succeed. Because something's bound to give. Eventually, something will work out. And if it doesn't, and I get close, there's always the 11th hour miracle. It always happens. I'll get that help right there at the nick of time because Creator sees that I've worked diligently the whole time to try to make something happen. I promise you. If you're obedient and consistent with working on yourself, a way will be made for those who believe. Rejection is not a reflection of you. Let's just say that first and foremost. When rejection happens, we often think there's something wrong with us. Flat out, first thing. And we often associate it with dating and romance. Somebody asks you out on a date, they say no. Rejection. That's a reflection of you. What's wrong with me? Why don't you want to date me? What's wrong with me? No. Dating is a two-way. It's like interviews. That's two ways too. Not only is the company interviewing you, but you are interviewing that company. You could easily, as much as say, nah, you're not the right fit for me. And I've done that. Facts. Rejection is it's a word with a stigma attached to it. Let's be frank. It's got a negative stigma attached to it. But frankly, all rejection is a door that's closed because God or your higher power said, I got something better for you. That's not the way to go. Let me close this door. We're going to open these two. But here's the problem. We spend so much time staring at that closed door that we're not aware of those other two that are open behind us. We spend so much time wondering why that door closed and associating that closed door with us personally. Overthinking things. And putting emotion into it while we're overthinking it. Oh yeah, it must have been how I said that, or what I did, or how I dressed, or how I look, or blah, 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 blah. Next thing you know, you've hung yourself. When it's none of that. Facts. And here's the other thing. So what if it was? Really? Here's another thing. At the end of the day, in this world, you don't need other people's validation. You only need your own. You only need your love. You only need your approval. You only need you. Well, and divine. I see you and divine as one, though. So, but I'm going to just parse you out for a while. Divine will always love you. Even when he shuts doors, even when things seem like he might not, he does. I get mad at my father, and sometimes I'll say some things I regret saying. I have to go back and I have to redeem myself. But in those moments when I'm angry because I feel like things were done by my father because he didn't care about me, or I've associated some form of lack of love or lack of care from him towards me. Which couldn't be further from the truth. Growth is hard. I'm not going to bullshit you. This journey was hard, but I'm so proud of myself. I couldn't be more proud of me. I'm not completed, but are we ever? I don't think we're ever truly completed. But I think of where I've been to where I am now, and I'm not even remotely the same person. I'm so different. And in a very good way. Yeah. And though it was hard and I went through a lot, I made it. I made it through 100% of all of that. And I can't say every day was a bad day. And it wasn't always hard. Growth can be hard. Imagine a baby learning to crawl and then to walk and having to learn a language and talk. That's kind of what it is. You're needing to learn a whole new you. You're healing parts of yourself that probably for years, decades for some, you've ignored. Because I'm going to tell you right now, the way through most of this is through learning to love yourself. You can't do this without learning to love you. With me, if you stick with me, that's the tool you're going to learn. Because you deserve to have the greatest love in the world. And by far, who's greater at loving you, other than God, than you? Other than your higher power, whatever that is, for you, than you. Nobody. There's absolutely nobody. Not even your twin, not even your soulmate, not your parents. You. Facts. And how do I know this? Because you attract in all of that outside of the contract you've written. Because who you bring in is predestined. But that's a whole nother type of video. And that's not what we're talking about here. So the healing work you do here, your insides, how you love you, actually helps you magnetize in your reality by affecting your vibration and frequency. How the heck? Yeah, I know. Love is the highest frequency, singular frequency. It is. It's a singular strand frequency, and it's the highest. Hate and fear are its opposites. They're similar, but opposed. If I had to draw like a frequency wheel, these two would be counter. It would be like love, joy, and then hate and fear, doubt, jealousy, envy, bitterness, joy, delight, amazement, you know. So, rejection is not a reflection of you. When my mother did not hold me, I spoke about something going on in my mother. I did not speak about me as a baby. Although it wounded me deeply, it did not say anything really about me. And I was protected the best I could be protected back from that. So, how do we get around this? First, understanding. Rejection is not a reflection of you in any way, shape, or form. Rejection is actually the other person's problem. and not yours. And you don't even need to say that to them. You just say, okay. And then you could internalize and say, okay, I'm going to hold space and grace for that. Because obviously there's something there that they got to work on. Because obviously there's something there. There's a reason why God's not opening that door for you. And maybe there's no problem at all, right? Right? 1 second. Sorry about that. So if it isn't a form of, anything being wrong, with them, because it doesn't have to be. It could just simply be, timing's off. That door could just simply not open simply because the timing isn't right. The reasons could vary, okay? It doesn't always have to be that there's something wrong with that person, okay? Or entity or whatever. I mean establishment, whatever. I was thinking like if you didn't get the job or whatever. But if you're rejected from something, the power is in that moment, and it's in your awareness on how you talk. Talk yourself, and in the awareness. Depending on the situation and how emotionally fired up it is going to be how well you do with this. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes when we're in heated arguments with other individuals, it can be very difficult to maintain a sense of groundedness and awareness of ourselves. And that's actually probably when we need to do it the most. But we're only human, and that's why I said we make mistakes, and learning from them is really important. We've all done it. I've done it. It's a human experience. Nevertheless, rejection is not a reflection, and understanding that is key. Number one, because it shows your level of awareness to a situation. You can hand it to God as well as understanding that your higher power is involved here. Your higher power is always involved, in everything. So you can hand the situation up. You could surrender it. I actually have a sign on my desk that said, today I'll be handing all my problems to you, God. So I can sit back and relax and enjoy my day. I'm all about surrendering. I got enough on my plate, and I recognize some days that my problems are way bigger than me. And especially if the stuff I'm dealing with, it's overwhelming me, yeah, I give it up to my Father. So there's understanding your connection with your higher power and using it to help you with understanding the rejection, using it as a source of support to move through it. That's one way. Another way is through like meditation or prayer. You can also write letters, like conversations with God. You could start a journal like that and write every day. I know somebody who does that. And just hand over your stuff, but also include a gratitude list while you're doing that, okay? Don't just write out all your bad stuff and give it away every day. Keep good stuff every day as well, so make sure you're doing both. And I would start out with the good stuff and what you're grateful for. With rejection, like I said, it's about love, so it's then focusing on yourself. With rejection, sometimes it's hurtful. We can't seem to get around the whole idea that it's not a personal attack. Let's say you've been friends with somebody, or you've been with somebody in a romantic relationship for a while, and then all of a sudden, for whatever reason, it's over. And it didn't end good. And you felt rejected. This is all made up. I don't know. I wouldn't know. Let's just say you ended with a fight. And then they avoided you, and you just never talk again. I mean, that's like a form of rejection and abandonment. And it's painful. It is really painful. Especially when you don't get that kind of closure. So you have to work through that, right? Well, how do you do that? Self-love. Connection to your higher power. Using the tools I just spoke of. But here's another. Crying. I know, a lot of people are like, what? What are you talking about? Yes. I know. But do it in the shower. That way people don't hear your motor going. But cry. Why? Fact of the matter is, when you do not allow your emotions, and you know they're stored up inside, and you can feel that in here, and here, and here, and here, and here, and here, and you're not verbalizing it outward, you're holding that in, that's going to metastasize into an illness. It's got to go somewhere. It's energy. That's why people get sick. And typically it ends up in something big eventually. It can wind up being anything. Oftentimes it winds up being huge, something like cancer or some other huge disease, and it can be fatal. It can be an autoimmune disorder. It can become diabetes. It can become, arthritis or anything, really. Cancer is huge, though, because cancer is stored up grief, anger. It calcifies. It is stowed up energy. Blocked chi, lines of chi in your meridians. And it will just stow and turn into lumps. From people-pleasing to self-sacrificing when you don't need to be doing that. Crying takes that emotion and gets it out of you. It's one way. Another way would be journaling. But even when you journal, you're going to find your eyes are going to start leaking, typically. As a counselor, listen to music. that'll help. Go for a walk, that'll help. When you're doing this, and you need to do these things to get these emotions out, it's very healing. Consistency is key. Daily. If you're going to ask me for a length of time, I can't give you that. Everybody says, or everybody is different. A good start is I'd say at least 3 months. 1 month is a good beginner. 3 months is a nice, solid start. 6 for something really serious. A year. If you really want to be honest with yourself. But for me, my idea when it comes to healing is this an ongoing thing. Because energy is fluid, it's constantly shifting, changing. So, I mean, I think we're always healing ourselves. It's ongoing. Just as one thing ends, another thing begins. I gotta start wrapping this up. I need to go collect my kid from school, but consistent every day. Dedicate time to you. Don't rush it. Slow and easy wins the race. So you want to work through rejection? Don't take it personally. Learn the art of detachment. Hold space and grace. Become more aware of your thoughts and how they're attached to your emotions. Firm up your relationship with your higher power. Journal. Script. Understand that the power is in the now. If that door's shut, there's probably others. If they're not already open, they're about to open. And there's a reason why that one's shut. And if you want to know the answers, just look upward and pray. Or go inward and pray, because that's your connection too. That's why I meditate. And pray. I know that it can hurt being rejected. I've been rejected by my parents, by my family, by society in general, being gang stalked right now by an entire city, by workplaces, by friend groups, by everybody. It can be hard, it can be devastatingly painful. But I'll tell you something. Self-love is like a suit of armor. The more you love yourself, the less all of that matters. I listen to binaural beats. It's a frequency. I use frequencies to heal every day. I do chakra cleansings daily. Spiritual baths multiple times a week. Cleansings, smudgings. I use my words with intention. But love. I love myself more than anything in this world. And I'll tell you, even if the entire world were against me, I know it might be hard, but I would still make it. Wherever it is God's taking me, I'm still going. And that you can take to the bank. And there was a sneeze next door, and for those who know, my thoughts on sneezes, I'll quickly tell you. To me, a sneeze is a sign from God of truth being spoken. A truth was just spoken. Basically, it was confirmation. It confirmed what I said. Even if all the world was against me, I would still make it. Sneeze, confirmed. I would make it. 143. 1 is a new start, 43 is a 7. Divine agrees. When you add a 1 and a 7, that's an 8. 8 is success. I'm drawn to my rainbow, and I didn't even realize today I wore a shirt with a rainbow on it. Rainbows are very significant. I've been seeing so many rainbows. I saw so many rainbows yesterday. It's not even funny how many rainbows I saw. Rainbows, rings, and keys, and portals, and archways, and doors. I'm telling you, and new homes, and bags of money, and new cars, and kissing. Tons of kissing. And I'm telling you, all rainbows are a sign of God's promises coming. They're here. Backs at 2:50 on my timer. Well, 2:50. But, you know, your journey is as divinely led as mine. It's just how aware are you of that? It's something to ponder on. If you're watching this, if you've lasted this long, it's something to ponder on. Because you weren't born for any reason. You're born for a specific reason. Facts. You think the Creator does things willy-nilly? Hello? He doesn't just make things at random and be like, okay, this person would look wonderful, we'll make a bunch more. Here, we'll just make a bunch and just put them on Earth. No. He makes every human being with love and in his form and with intentionality. That's why each one of us is unique and has special gifts, and we're here for a reason. I know, because I'm pretty sure each one of you, I could help you find out what your reason is. I just heard yes. And I'm getting confirmations of my leg. On my right side, it's divine feminine. Left is divine masculine. My right is lighting up, which is my more intuitive side. So my psychic abilities are kicking in. Nevertheless, I'm going to end that here for today. If you want a personal reading, or session with me, reach out. Emails below. Okay, I'd be more than happy to help you. If you have any trauma you want to talk about that you needed some help with, past life or this life, because I'm capable of going into past lives. In fact, I've been thinking about doing a past life reading. I might be bringing that in. Maybe we'll do a past life reading. Also, might be starting up a new type of reading. People don't do these types of readings. I might be bringing it in. I'll be the first. Yeah, well, you know what they say. Just gotta start somewhere. Why not with me? Till then, know I love you. Know you're loved and lovable, and this world needs you. Sure does. Like a puzzle. Without you, this world would be incomplete. Each one of you is valuable. Facts. You matter. You do. Thank you for joining me here today at Soul Pathways. Until next time, you take care. Be well.